Okay. Good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay. So in the last class, we were discussing about the electric field along the axial line of an electric dipole and the electric field along the equatorial plane of the electric dipole. And we were study the equations for the electric field along the axial line and that of the equatorial plane, right? Then what was the relationship between the electric field along the axial line and that of the equatorial plane, Vidur? What is the relationship between them? How we can connect the electric field along the axial line and that of the equatorial plane?
E axial is equal to minus 2 into E equatorial.
Yes, E axial is equal to minus 2 times than that of the E equatorial, electric field along the equatorial plane. All right. All of you, please switch on your video. So now we are going to discuss about the dipole in a uniform electric field. What happens if we are placing an electric dipole in a uniform electric field? So write the next heading, dipole in a uniform electric field. Dipole in a uniform electric field. What do you mean by electric dipole? What do you mean by electric dipole? Meenakshi?
Ma'am,
Yes?
can you tell the heading again?
Dipole in a uniform electric field. Dipole in a uniform electric field. Meenakshi, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you mean by electric dipole then?
Electric dipole consists of two equal and opposite charges separated by a distance of 12.
Separated by a small distance. That is 12. Okay, all right, good. Then Gayatri, what do you mean by electric field?
It's a region where the electric charge can be felt, like the properties of electric charge can be felt.
Yes, electric field is a region of space around the charge where we influences the effects of charge. That is what is meant by electric field. So now we are placing the electric dipole in a uniform electric field. So we can start. So in order to describe the electric dipole in a uniform electric field, first of all, I consider a uniform electric field. A uniform electric field. Okay, so this is the representation of a uniform electric field. So what is the direction of the electric field, Achyut? What is the direction of an electric field?
Ma'am, direction of
Electric field or electric field lines?
positive to negative.
Positive to negative. So this side is positive and this side is negative because the arrow mark is pointing towards the negative because the electric field is originating from the positive charge and it is end or it is terminating in the negative charge. Okay. Now, in order to explain this dipole in a uniform electric field, we want to consider an electric dipole inside this uniform electric field. So draw a uniform electric field and now we are going to place a electric dipole inside this with the two charges plus Q and minus Q. Okay. Plus Q and minus Q. So we are considering a uniform electric field and inside this uniform electric field, we are placing an electric dipole with the charges plus Q and minus Q and it is separated by a distance. What is the distance of separation between them? It is separated by a distance 2L. Okay, it is separated by a distance 2L. Now, due to the presence of this negative charge, the plus Q charge in this dipole is experiences a force. What is the force that is exists between this plus Q charge and that of this minus charge? There exists
Attractive.
yes, due to the presence of this negative charge, the plus Q is exerted or it is experiences a force. That is a force of attraction and it is in this direction. And this force is given by QE. Okay. The positive charge on the dipole plus Q and the negative charge is experiences a force of attraction that is given by QE. Similarly, the negative charge in the dipole minus Q is experiences a force towards the positive charge. What type of force is that? Is it is force of attraction or repulsion? The another charge that is present in the dipole is minus Q. It is also experiences a force towards the plus charge. That is a force of attraction because both are opposite sign. So again, they are attracted with each other. So this force of attraction in this direction. So in the case of plus Q, it is experiences a force of so we are considering an electric field, uniform electric field, and we are placing an electric dipole in this electric field, uniform electric field. The electric dipole is nothing. It is contains the two equal and opposite charges, plus Q and minus Q, separated by a distance of 2L. Due to the presence of this negative charge, the plus Q charge present in this dipole is experiences a force of attraction. It is given by QE. Similarly, due to the presence of this positive charge, the negative charge on the dipole is experiences a force of attraction and it is also given by negative QE. It is negative QE. Why we are giving it is negative QE? In the case of the plus Q charge, it is experiences a force of attraction in the forward direction. But in the case of negative charge that is present in the dipole, it is experiences a force of attraction towards this positive charge in the opposite direction, that is in the backward direction. So we given it as negative QE, minus QE. Then, children, what about the net force experienced by this dipole? What is the net force experienced by the dipole? What is the net force experienced by the dipole according to the superposition principle? Can you recall it? What is the net force that is experienced on the dipole? Yes, Gauri?
Sum of the individual dipoles.
Yes, it is the sum of the net force experienced on this entire dipole is the vector sum of the force due to individual charges. That is the force due to plus Q charge and also the force due to minus Q charge. What is the force due to plus Q charge here, Sania? What is the force due to plus Q charge? It is QE. It is QE plus, what is the force due to negative charge? Aditya, what is the force due to negative charge?
Ma'am, negative QE.
Yes, it is negative QE. Very good. Then what is the net force experienced by the dipole? F net is equal to QE plus of minus QE, that is QE minus QE. What is QE minus QE? That is equal to QE minus QE. What is that? That is
Zero.
equal to 0. Very good. So what is the net force that is experienced by the dipole? The net force experienced by the dipole is equal to 0. Because the charge on the dipole is experiences an equal and opposite charge. Plus Q is experiences a positive charge, that is it is acting forward, QE. But the negative charge on the dipole is experiences a backward force. It is also a force of attraction, but it is acting in the backward direction, that is minus QE. Therefore, the net force that is acting on this dipole is given by QE minus QE, that is equal to 0. So what is the net force acting on the electric dipole when it is placed in an electric field? What is the net force that is experienced by the electric dipole when it is placed in a uniform electric field? Its value is given by 0.
Zero.
0. So the net force that is experienced by the electric dipole in a uniform field, it is equal to 0. Clear? But due to presence of these forces, there is some kind of forces are present on the charge plus Q and minus Q. There is some forces are present. That is why it is get attracted towards this negative charge, and this minus Q is get attracted towards this positive charge. So due to the forces present in the charges of electric dipole, this dipole is undergoes a slight rotation inside this uniform electric field. Even though the net force experienced by the dipole is 0, due to the presence of some forces on this plus Q charge and minus Q charge, the dipole is gets slightly rotated inside this electric field, and this rotation effect of the electric dipole is known as torque. It is known as torque. What is torque? The torque is the rotation effect of the electric dipole due to the presence of the forces inside the charges. So the torque is the rotation effect of the electric dipole due to the presence of forces present in the charges of electric dipole.
Ma'am,
Yes,
can you tell slowly?
yes, Achyut.
Can you tell again slowly?
Okay, okay.
Torque.
Okay, okay, Achyut. Torque is it is the rotation effect of, electric dipole. It is the rotation effect of electric dipole due to the presence of charges, due to the presence of forces, not charges, due to the presence of forces in the charges of electric dipole, due to the presence of forces by the charges of electric dipole. Due to the presence of forces by the charges of electric dipole. So this rotation effect of the electric dipole due to the presence of the forces by the charges present in the electric dipole is known as torque. It is known as torque. Okay. And it is represented by a symbol like this. Do you familiar with this symbol? And it is pronounced as cho. It is read as cho. Cho. So the torque is represented by the symbol like this, and it is pronounced as cho. Cho. Okay. So what is torque? Did you get an idea about torque? Due to the presence of some kind of forces of minus Q and plus Q inside this electric dipole, this electric dipole is undergoes a slight rotation inside this uniform electric field. So due to the rotation effect, this rotation effect of the electric dipole inside this uniform electric field is known as torque, and it is represented by the letter tau. It is represented by the letter tau. Is it is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is the net force that is experienced by the electric dipole placed in an electric field? What is the net force experienced by the electric dipole in a uniform electric field?
0.
It is 0. But due to the presence of some forces on the charges minus q and plus q, we can say that the dipole is undergo some kind of rotation. And this rotation effect is known as torque. So we are already said that due to the presence of this torque or due to the presence of some forces, the electric dipole that we are placed inside the uniform electric field is undergo some rotation. So initially our electric dipole is sitting in a straight position, but now it is slightly rotated towards the right side. Okay, it is slightly rotated due to the presence of forces by the charges plus q and minus q. It is slightly rotated to the right side. Clear? Sania, do you have any doubt? From your face, I think you have some kind of doubt. Okay. So initially our electric dipole is sitting in a straight way, but due to the presence of this torque, it rotates the electric dipole into the right side. Slightly rotated. Okay. So we are already said that what is torque? Torque is the rotation effect that is produced by the electric dipole due to the presence of some kind of force is exist in the charge plus q and minus q. That is what is known as torque. And torque is represented by a symbol tau, and the torque is equal to, it can be found out using a formula. That formula for finding the torque is given by product of magnitude of any one of charge into perpendicular distance to the electric field. Perpendicular distance to the electric field. So the tau can be calculated by the product of magnitude of any one of the, not charge, any one of the force, not charge. Product of magnitude of any one of the force and the perpendicular distance to the electric field. Perpendicular distance to the electric field. So what is the equation for calculating the tau? The tau is equal to the product of magnitude of any one of the force and that of the perpendicular distance to that of the electric field. Okay. So in numerical form, we can represent this, or we can represent it with the help of some symbols. Tau is equal to the product of magnitude of any one of the force, that is F cross R, where F is the product of magnitude of any one of the force and R is the perpendicular distance to the electric field. So this is the equation for calculating the tau. Okay. So what is the equation for calculating the tau? The equation for calculating the tau is equal to F into R, where F is the product of the magnitude of any one of the force and R is the perpendicular distance to the electric field. Clear? Now we want to solve the equation. Now we want to find out the terms of F and R from this case. We want to find out the torque experienced by the electric dipole that is placed in a uniform electric field. So due to the presence of this torque, our electric dipole is undergoing some rotation towards the right side. Even though this plus Q charge is again experiences a force toward this negative charge and it is given by QE. Similarly, this negative charge on the dipole is experiences a force towards this positive charge and it is also again given by minus QE. Right? Now we want to find out an expression for tau. According to the equation for tau, it is the product of magnitude of any one of the charges. So what is the force here? It is the product of magnitude of any one of the forces, not charges. It is the product of magnitude of any one of the forces. What is the force given here? There is only one kind of force is present in the case of plus Q and minus Q. What is that?
Attractive force.
Attractive force. And what is its value from this figure? It is experiences a force towards negative charge. It is given by QE. Similarly, the minus Q is experiences a force towards positive charge. It is also given by minus QE. So what is the product of magnitude of any one of the charge? Which means tau is equal to one term is QE, right? One term is QE. Now, we want to find out the perpendicular distance. We want to find out the perpendicular distance. So, in order to find out the perpendicular distance, we want to consider an angle between the electric field and that of the dipole. So, in order to find out the perpendicular distance, we consider an angle between the electric dipole and that of the electric field. So here theta is the angle between electric field and electric dipole. What is? Theta is the angle between electric field and electric dipole. Okay, theta is the angle between electric field and that of the electric dipole. Now we can draw a triangle here. Join this line. So we get a triangle ABC. Okay. In order to find out this perpendicular distance, we do all these things. First of all, we are consider an angle theta, where angle theta is the angle between the electric field and that of the dipole. Okay. Then we are joining this line. So we get a triangle ABC. Okay. And we know that what is the distance of separation between minus Q and plus Q? What is this distance? The distance of separation between minus Q and plus Q. What is the distance? We are considering it from the above cases. It is separated by a distance. Yes, it is separated by a distance 2L. It is separated by a distance 2L, right? And this 2L is inclined at that angle theta. This 2L is inclined at the angle theta. So it is resolved into two components. One is the horizontal component and other is the vertical component. So here the distance of separation between the electric dipole is minus Q and plus Q. The distance of separation between these two charges is given by 2L. That distance is inclined at an angle theta. And hence we can resolve it into two components. One is a horizontal component and other is the vertical component. And the horizontal component is given by 2L cos theta and the vertical component is given by 2L sin theta. Okay. Here, due to the presence of torque, our electric dipole that is placed inside the uniform electric field undergoes a slight rotation. That slight rotation effect of the electric dipole is known as torque. And the torque is given, can be calculated by the equation, it is the product of magnitude of any one of the forces and the perpendicular distance. The product of magnitude of the force is very clear from the figure. It is QE. But we want to find out the perpendicular distance. In order to find out this perpendicular distance, we are considering an angle that is made by the electric dipole and that of the field. Let us theta is considered as the angle made by this electric dipole and that of the field. Then by joining this line, we are forming a triangle ABC. And we know that the distance of separation between the two charges minus Q and plus Q is given by 2L. And this distance 2L is inclined at the angle theta. So we resolve that distance into two components. One is a horizontal component, 2L cos theta, and other is a vertical component, that is 2L sin theta. So from this triangle ABC, it's very clear that which is the perpendicular component, which is the perpendicular distance. Is it is 2L cos theta or 2L sin theta?
2L sin theta.
2L sin theta, right? This side of the triangle BC is representing the perpendicular distance, right? From the triangle, the side BC is representing the perpendicular distance. And that perpendicular distance is given by our sin theta component. So inside the equation, tau is equal to QE into the perpendicular distance. The perpendicular distance is given by 2L sin theta. The tau is equal to QE into 2L sin theta. Again, we can rearrange the equation. We get tau is equal to Q into 2L E sin theta. Do you have any familiarity with this term? What is Q into 2L? What is Q into 2L?
Dipole moment.
Yes, very good. P. Now you are on the track. I felt very happy. This Q into 2L is dipole moment. So we can again modify this equation for torque. Tau is equal to Q into 2L E sin theta instead of Q into 2L, because Q into 2L is nothing. It is equal to P. So instead of writing this term, we can write it as P dot E sin theta. P into E sin theta. P E sin theta. Okay, not dot. We can write tau is equal to P E sin theta. We get P E sin theta. And in the +1, did you study the dot product and cross product? Can you recall what is A cross B? What is vector A cross vector B? Yes?
AB sin theta.
Yes, the vector A cross vector B is equal to AB sin theta, right? AB sin theta. So we can use this cross product here. Here it is in the form, instead of A and B, we have another two vectors, that is the dipole moment vector P and the electric field vector E. So this PE sin theta is of the form A cross B. Instead of A and B, we can have, here we have P and E. So this term can be represented as tau is equal to P cross E. Tau is equal to P cross E. This is the expression for tau in the case of electric dipole that is placed in a uniform electric field. This is the expression for the tau which is placed in a uniform electric field. Because from this equation we have tau is equal to PE sin theta. In +1 we are already studied that in the cross product, that is A cross B is equal to AB sin theta. Vector A cross vector B is equal to AB sin theta. Here instead of A and B we have P and E. So instead of this we have PE sin theta. PE sin theta. So what is PE sin theta? Vector P cross vector E gives the PE sin theta. This is what we are used to here. Okay. So we get tau is equal to P cross E. So this is the torque that is affected by the electric dipole, which is placed in the electric field. So this is the dipole that is placed in a uniform electric field. It is experiences a torque. Due to the presence of torque, the electric dipole is undergoes a slight rotation. Okay. And the torque, yes.
After this, can you tell the first point how we got QE?
Which one? QE.
Ah,
That is the force experienced by the charge plus Q on minus. The plus Q charge is experiences here. The charge experiences plus Q, not the charge, the force. The force experienced by the charge plus Q towards the minus. It is in an electric field, so we are representing it as Q into E, QE. The force experienced by the charge plus Q towards the minus, that is QE. Similarly, the negative charge is also experiences a force of attractions towards this positive charge. It is given by minus QE. Since it is minus because it is acting in the backward direction. This force is acting in forward direction, but this force is acting in the backward direction. That is why we are taking it as negative.
okay.
Okay. So what is the final expression for tau? Tau is equal to vector P cross vector E. Both of them are vector quantities, dipole moment and that of the electric field. Clear? This is the electric dipole in a uniform electric field. Now, we can consider what are the varying values for this electric dipole for varying angles. That is, we know that tau is equal to P sin theta. We already write that tau is equal to P sin theta. Now we can substitute varying values for this theta. Okay. Suppose if theta is equal to 0, suppose if theta is equal to 0, what is the value of tau? Tau is equal to PE sin 0. What is sin 0?
0.
0. So what is the value of tau?
0.
Tau equal to 0. Very good. So if theta, if the angle between the electric dipole and that of the electric field is theta is equal to 0, then tau is equal to PE sin theta, that is tau is equal to PE sin 0. So we can say at that time, if the angle between them is equal to 0, tau is equal to 0. Clear? Now we can check the next condition. That is, if the angle between the electric dipole and that of the electric field is equal to 90 degree. It is equal to 90. That is, if theta is equal to 90 degree, what happens to tau? Tau is equal to PE sin 90. What is the value of sin 90?
1.
Sin 90 is equal to 1. Then what happens to tau? Tau
P.
is equal to PE. Clear? We can verify it with one more angle. That is for 180 degree. For 180 degree, what is the value of theta? Theta is equal to 180 degree. Tau is equal to PE sin 180. What is the value of sin 180? What is the value of sin 180 degree? Sin 180 is also equal to 0. Okay. Sin 180 is 0. So what is the value of tau?
0.
Is again 0. So we are studying the varying values of the tau for different angle, the angle between the electric dipole and electric field. If theta is equal to 0 degree, if theta is equal to 90 degree, and if theta is equal to 180 degree. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, we can discuss one more case. It is a special case you can write in your notebooks as a side note because it is not mentioned in your textbook. That is, here we are discussing about the dipole present in a uniform electric field. Now we are discuss the dipole present in a uniform electric field. Suppose you just imagine if the electric dipole is present in a non-uniform electric field. So you just imagine if the dipole is present in a non-uniform, not uniform, if it is present in a non-uniform electric field, then what happens to the net force acting on the dipole? Is it is equal to 0? In the case of a dipole that is present in a uniform electric field, the value, the net force acting on the dipole is given by QE, not like this, QE minus QE, that is equal to 0. It is in the case of a dipole that is placed in a uniform electric field. Suppose now we are imagine if the dipole is present in a non-uniform electric field, then this value is not equal to 0 because here there are two electric fields which are present in different direction. Sometimes it is QE1, sometimes it is QE2. So it is neither equal to 0. So the net force acting on the dipole, if it is placed in a non-uniform electric field, its value is not equal to 0 because what is the reason? Here the electric fields are not same, they are different. Since the electric fields are not same in a non-uniform electric field, the net force experienced by the electric dipole, if it is placed in a non-uniform electric field, is not equal to 0. Okay, then what will be the value of tau? Tau equal to 0. The tau is not equal to 0. Okay, if the electric field is present in a non-uniform electric field, the net force is acting on an electric dipole is not equal to 0. Similarly, our tau is also not equal to 0. This is a special case, you just note it. Sometimes it may be asked for your exam as an application level. In addition with this case of uniform electric field present in a dipole. So I hope this topic is clear. Is it is clear for you? Yes or no? All of you please switch on your videos. Malavika? Malavika?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you mean by torque? What do you mean by torque?
It is a rotational effect of electric dipole due to the presence of forces present in the charges
Of where these charges are present?
electric field.
Due to the presence of charges present in the electric, not electric field, electric dipole. Okay. All right. Good. How we can represent this torque? Manuel, how we can represent this torque?
F in product of magnitude of any one of force and perpendicular distance to the electric field.
Okay, what is the letter that we are used to represent this torque?
F into R.
F into
R.
R. Okay, what is the term? How we can represent the torque?
TAW.
No, I'm just right there for the pronunciation. It is read as cho. Don't write TAW like that. So it is read as cho. Okay, it is pronounced as cho. So cho is equal to F into R. Okay, and for an electric dipole, if it is placed in a uniform electric field, what is the net force acting on it? What is the net force acting on it? Alvin? If the electric dipole is present in a uniform electric field, what is the net force acting on the dipole?
0.
0. And what is the equation for tau? Rijas? If the dipole is present in a uniform electric field, how we can calculate the torque?
P cross E.
Yes, tau is equal to P cross E, where P is the dipole moment and E is the electric field. Is it clear? Can we move to the next topic? So next is a very small topic, that is the continuous distribution of charges. What is the next topic? Continuous distribution of charges or continuous charge distribution. Continuous charge distribution. This is the next topic, continuous charge distribution. A very small topic. You can grasp it very easily. Okay, continuous charge distribution. So in order to explain this continuous charge distribution, in the first case, I consider a linear conductor. So in order to explain this continuous charge distribution, for the first case, I consider a linear conductor. And if I place a charge Q here, after sometimes what happens? This charge Q is distributed uniformly along the length of this linear conductor. Okay, so in order to explain the distribution of charge, first of all, I consider a linear conductor. And if I place a charge near the linear conductor, I found that after some times, this charge is uniformly distributed along the length of the conductor. Then the linear charge density can be calculated. Then the linear charge density can be calculated using the equation lambda is equal to the charge present per unit length. What is lambda? Lambda is equal to charge present per unit length. Charge present per length of the conductor. What is lambda? Lambda is the linear charge density. Lambda is the linear charge density. The linear charge density lambda is equal to charge per unit length. What is charge? Q divided by L. So this is the equation for linear charge density. So the first case, I consider a linear conductor. I placed a charge. After sometimes this charge is distributed uniformly along the length of the conductor. Then the lambda, that is the linear charge density lambda, is equal to the charge present per unit length of the conductor. That is lambda is equal to charge by length, that is equal to Q by L. So the value of linear charge density can be calculated using the equation Q by L. Then what is the unit of linear charge density? What is the unit of charge? Malavika, what is the unit of charge?
Coulomb.
Coulomb. What is the unit of length? Adul, what is the unit of length?
Meter.
Meter. So the unit of linear charge density lambda is given by Coulomb per meter. Coulomb per meter. Clear? It is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we can move to the second case. For a second case, we can consider another figure. It is a spherical shell. Okay. It is a spherical shell or a spherical conductor. We are considering a spherical shell or spherical conductor. And I place a charge Q. After some times, this charge is distributed uniformly along its surface. I consider a spherical shell or a spherical conductor. After sometimes, this charge is distributed uniformly along its surface. Then the surface charge density, sigma, the surface charge density sigma is given by charge present per unit area of the surface. What is the surface charge density sigma? The surface charge density sigma is given by charge present per unit area of the surface. Unit area of the surface. What is sigma? Sigma is the surface charge density. So this sigma is given by, charge is represented by the letter Q, and area of the spherical shell is given by A. The equation for calculating the surface charge density is given by sigma is equal to Q by A. Is it clear? What is the unit of the surface charge density then? Aditya, have you any guess? What about the unit of the charge?
Coulomb by
Yes.
centimeter.
We are expressed the length in terms of meter. So the unit of area is meter square, right? So the unit of surface charge density is given by Coulomb per meter square. Coulomb per meter square. Okay. So we are discussed the two cases. One is linear charge density and other is surface charge density. One more case is there. Okay. Can I rub this? Can I rub the second case?
Yes.
Okay. Now we can discuss the third case also. This is our final case. The continuous charge distribution. For this, we are considering a non-conducting surface. We are considering a non-conducting surface. And if a charge is placed here, it is uniformly distributed along its volume because it is a non-conducting surface. So the charge is uniformly distributed along its volume. Okay. So can you say, here we can calculate the volume charge density. The volume charge density rho is given by the charge present per unit volume. The charge present per unit volume. Okay. Rho, this is called as rho. The volume charge density rho is equal to charge present per unit volume, or rho is equal to, how we can represent the charge? Q divided by, how we can represent volume? V. So rho is equal to Q by V. Then what is the unit of this volume charge density? The unit of charge is Coulomb and unit of volume is meter cube. So the unit of volume charge density is given by Coulomb per meter cube. It is given by Coulomb per meter cube. Clear? All the three cases. The continuous charge distribution of linear conductor. The second one is a spherical conductor. And the third one is a non-conductor. The spherical non-conductor. Okay. All these three cases are clear for you. So we can discuss about the first one. What is the equation for the linear charge density? Achyut. Yes, fast. Gayatri, what is the equation for linear charge density?
Charge by length.
Yes, charge by length. What is its unit?
Coulomb per meter.
Okay. Then Michael, what about the surface charge density? Michael?
Charge by area.
Yes, it is charge by area. Then Anthony, what about the volume charge density?
Charge by volume.
Charge by volume. Okay. I hope this topic is clear. So we can wind up the today's sessions. So the next topic that we can discuss in the next class. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.